Hey everyone, welcome back to another explainer. I am super thrilled to have you here today. Now, if you are the designated IT admin for your home network, you know the person everyone in the house runs to the second the Wi-Fi gets a little glitchy or their laptop starts crawling, you are absolutely going to want to pay close attention to this briefing. We're basically playing digital detective today to investigate a massive, completely hidden data grab that's happening right under our noses. So let's just dive right in, because what we're looking at today is a perfect example of that really tricky balance between helpful software features and, well, our fundamental digital privacy.
Okay, so it's a tale literally as old as modern computing. You sit down at the family PC, or maybe it's your own personal laptop, and you start noticing your hard drive space is just mysteriously vanishing. As a household IT pro, you know the drill, right? You run your standard disk cleanups, you empty out the recycle bin, maybe you clear your browser cache, but a huge chunk of storage is still just missing in action. The whole machine feels a little sluggish, and you're just left scratching your head wondering, seriously, where did all my hard drive space actually go? It's incredibly frustrating when system performance takes a hit for no obvious reason. But today we actually have a prime suspect. And that culprit is a whopping 4 gigabytes. Recent reports have actually uncovered that Google Chrome has been silently downloading a massive 4 gigabyte payload in the background. Think about that for a second. You didn't click download, you didn't approve some massive software update. This happened simply because of a server-side update that Google rolled out. They just pushed this huge file directly onto your system. Now sure, 4 gigs might not sound like the end of the world if you're running a brand new massive hard drive. But for older machines, or a basic laptop just meant for web browsing, that is a gigantic chunk of your digital real estate suddenly occupied without any warning at all. And right here is where we hit the core privacy concern. This massive 4 gigabyte background download happens with zero user consent. None. There was no pop-up menu asking if it's okay. There's no little banner at the top of your browser asking you to opt in. There was absolutely no visual notification that this massive data transfer was even taking place. A file of this size just moving right onto your system entirely unannounced? Yeah, that has sparked some serious controversy and brought up major questions about how background data is used, and more importantly, our consent as users. To really wrap our heads around why this is rubbing people the wrong way, let's just think of a quick analogy. Imagine you rent this modest, cozy little apartment. You're paying for that space. Now imagine your landlord decides they're just going to move a massive, incredibly heavy grand piano into your living room while you're fast asleep. They don't call you up, they don't leave a sticky note on the fridge, they definitely don't ask for permission. You just wake up and boom, a huge chunk of your living room is gone, taken up by this giant thing you never even asked for. That is exactly what it feels like is happening with this silent background download. All right, let's move on to section 1, investigating the 4 GB download. So the most crucial thing to figure out right now is what this giant file actually is, and why Google decided it needed to be there by default. Let's put on our detective hats and dig into the mechanics of this. The file itself is technically called weights.bin. Now, if you're not a software engineer, what in the world does that mean? Well, weights.bin is essentially a local AI model. More specifically, it's Google's Gemini Nano AI model. Chrome is downloading this directly to your local machine to power on-device features. And the main feature Google highlights for this is scam detection. The whole idea is that by having the AI model right there, physically on your computer, Chrome can instantly analyze things and catch potential scams locally without having to constantly bounce all your browsing data back and forth to their cloud servers. But here's the kicker. If you dig really deep into Chrome's settings, the only clue Google gives you about this entire process is a tiny line of text that simply reads, Chrome can use AI models that run directly on your device. Notice anything missing there? Yeah, it completely leaves out the tiny little detail that this capability requires actively downloading a 4 gigabyte file in the background. It's an incredibly vague description for such a massive data grab, which totally leaves everyday users in the dark about what's physically happening on their hard drives.
Which brings us to section 2. The multi-profile storage trap. Now, let's look at how this builds into an even bigger problem, especially if you're dealing with a shared household computer. A lot of us manage multiple browser profiles on a single PC, right? Maybe there's one for you, one for your partner, and a couple for the kids. Well, Chrome actually downloads this 4 gigabyte file for every single profile used in the browser. So, one profile means 4 gigs. 2 profiles? That's 8 gigs silently taken from your drive. If you have a family of 4, all using their own profiles, boom, you have just lost 16 gigabytes of storage space. This hidden digital clutter multiplies incredibly fast, which dramatically impacts your total system storage and potentially drags down your overall performance. Okay, let's get into the fix. Section 3, locating the hidden files. As the head IT admin of your house, you are probably itching to track this down right now. You need to know exactly where these massive files are hiding. Getting there does require a little bit of digging, mostly because Google tucks this away deep inside your hidden system folders. If you're on a Windows machine, here's the exact path you're going to want to trace. First, open File Explorer and make absolutely sure you have hidden items checked in your View tab. Otherwise, you're not going to find it. Then head to your main drive, which is usually the C drive. Next, click into the Users folder and pick your specific profile name. From there, open up that hidden App Data folder. Then you'll navigate through Local, then Google, and into Chrome User Data. Finally, look for a folder named OptGuard On-Device Model. Right inside that folder, you are going to find that massive 4GB weights.bin file. But wait, before you enthusiastically smash that delete key, there is something absolutely vital you need to know. Simply right-clicking and deleting the weights.bin file is, unfortunately, completely useless. If you just toss it in the trash, the very next time you reboot your computer or even just restart Chrome, the browser will automatically go right back out and re-download the entire 4 gigs plus all of its dependencies. It's an opt-out system. This means that as long as the feature remains active in the background, Chrome is going to fight you to keep that file on your computer.
So how do we actually fix it? Section 4, taking back your system.
It's time to shift gears from investigating to actually taking back control of our storage. First off, a good proactive tip, keep an eye on your PC's storage settings regularly so you can spot any sudden, weird drops in your free space. But to permanently fix this exact Chrome issue and stop those silent downloads once and for all, you have to turn the feature off from within Chrome itself. It's super easy. Open up your main Chrome menu and head to Settings. On the left-hand menu, scroll down until you hit the System tab. Right there, staring back at you, you'll see a setting called On-Device AI. It's toggled on by default. All you have to do is toggle it off. The very second you flip that switch, Chrome automatically deletes the 4GB file and stops it from ever sneaking back onto your drive. Now, as your guide through all this, I have to give you the completely impartial full picture here. If you do choose to opt out and toggle that setting off just to save your hard drive space, there is a trade-off involved. Google clearly notes that when on-device AI is turned off, those local features like their built-in scam detection may not work anymore. You are essentially trading that localized AI processing power to get your 4 gigs of storage back. It's totally your call, but it's a decision you have to make based on what matters more to you, the physical hard drive space or having that local scam detection running.
And that brings us to the end of today's briefing. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought that frankly goes way beyond just one web browser. We've just seen firsthand how a massive 4GB AI model can be quietly slipped onto your system and even multiply across your family's profiles, all without a single notification or request for your consent. So it really begs a much bigger question about our overall digital privacy. If a 4GB file can move into your hard drive silently, like an invisible grand piano, what else might be downloading in the background of your devices right this very minute, entirely without your consent? Something to think about, right? Keep staying curious, keep staying vigilant out there, and I will catch you in the next explainer.